What's up? I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about this upcoming Mercury in retrograde. We are now in the Mercury in retrograde pre-shadow period. As well as we are in a Mars retrograde, and we are going to be released from that soon. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, your nightly self-care experience. So I'm really excited to share this moment with you and share these moments with you, okay? So we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay. You ready? May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out to us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, okay. So I'm just going to work on your energy a little bit. And as I work on your energy, we're just going to work through the effects that happen with a Mercury in retrograde, pre-shadow period, Mars in retrograde, and what it all means. What does it all mean? Okay. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, okay. So I'm going to start to just take little pieces of stress away from you. So we're going to talk about this Mars in retrograde. So Mars has been doing this retrograde in Gemini dance. And Mars in Gemini in general is something that we are going to be experiencing from 2022 into 2023. But right now Mars is in retrograde, and it will leave that retrograde position around the middle of January. So what does that feel like? It feels like Mars. Let's think of Mars. Mars is your passion. Mars is your ability to take initiative. Mars is your ability to get things done. Mars is your ability to have a result, a resolution. And when Mars is in retrograde, for example, if you have Mars retrograde in your chart, or you know somebody with a Mars in retrograde, it doesn't work that way. There's things that are postponed. It's like the harder you try, just nothing seems to work out. So if recently you have been experiencing that within some area of your life where you're like, wow, working really hard here and nothing seems to be working out, like freakishly working hard and nothing seems to be working out, it could be because of Mars and this retrograde transit. So what it simply means is be strategic, think outside of the box. And when we think of Mars, Mars was the traditional ruler of Aries. It still is the traditional ruler of Aries, but it also was the traditional ruler of Scorpio. The modern day ruler of Scorpio now is Pluto. So with Mars being the traditional ruler of Scorpio, Scorpio is all about strategy. It is the war. Aries is all about momentum and moment and that quick just spark. And it is about the battle. That Scorpio energy looks at the full picture. So what you have to do right now is think from the perspective of Mars. If you're not able to accomplish what you need to accomplish the way that you're doing it, you decision. Even when things are off, you are still expected to be able to move forward. And a lot of people get stuck and caught where they're at. So they feel like, because it doesn't feel like how Mars feels direct, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Don't do that. Think it through. Pay attention, be practical, make a decision, and just stick with it. You may not like it in the end, or you may love it in the end, but what's worse is putting yourself in a bigger predicament by not doing anything at all. By putting yourself in a situation where you really just have to accept whatever's in front of you. And there's also this note of surrendering. What I mean here is, when you can't control everything in the way that you want it to be controlled, you can surrender a bit and say, you know what, I am going to look outside the box, and I'm just gonna go with the flow here, and I'm just gonna make this happen however it's going to happen, rather than trying to force things to work a certain way that you're used to or that you're accustomed to. Okay. Okay, good job. Now I hope that is bringing some relief to some people who may have been feeling like, we also have to understand pre-shadow periods and post-shadow periods. And what I mean by that is, your pre-shadow period is that pre-shadow before a planet goes retrograde. And your post-shadow period is when that planet becomes direct. There's that period of time where there's still that feeling of the retrograde, but it's starting to resolve itself. So walking into this pre-shadow period with Mercury, the feeling is this. Mercury is going to be retrograde in Capricorn. It is going to go retrograde in Capricorn at the end of December. It started its pre-shadow period December 12th. What that means is everything that has to do with your legacy, your career, what you're building, what you want to be known for, what people essentially know you for. It can even extend a bit into your job and how you make money and things like that, but it's really, think about what foundation are you building for the life that you have. Just take a moment and think about it. Mercury is coming through to basically say, let's make sure all of this is on track, so that areas of communication that is not working for your legacy and your foundation, they're going to be knocked down and swept away. The areas that are working, they're going to be strengthened, fortified, and even rewarded, because sometimes we forget that in retrograde periods, you are rewarded. If you're strategic when Mars is direct, that means during a Mars retrograde, you are equipped to handle it. If you have adequate communication towards whatever topic it is, when Mercury is direct, that means when Mercury goes into retrograde, you're prepared to handle those things. There is no scenario in which hard work is not a part of it. Hard work just happens. It is inevitable. It is an inevitable thing. Inevitable thing that has to happen. And it happens just because, like, that's how we make things work. But I think hard work is simply the fact that I am me, right? You are you. I have my version of the universe. You have your version of the universe. And if you want me to see your version of the universe, you have to put in some type of work to express that. Physically, verbally, mentally, whatever that is, you are putting in work to show me or give me a glimpse of your universe. That's all it is. Because we cannot assume that others are experiencing the universe like us. So whenever we're working hard towards something, that's all we're really doing. It's just trying to materialize what we think we should be showing, or what we think that we want to share with others. It's really that simple. I hope so. really important to just be aware of that. So don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Don't make it seem like, oh, you're doing something wrong, or it's not working out the way that you want it to work out. Don't worry about any of that at all. Instead, just think about it like this. Hey, I'm doing the best I can. This is typically what people feel during these retrograde periods. So instead of judging myself, I'm just going to keep working hard, because something like a Mars in retrograde is like this. How do you create determination for something? You establish determination when you have a good plan. Things aren't moving as quickly as you would like, but you stay consistent. And as soon as Mars goes direct, then you are going to be able to illuminate and experience and be able to reap some of those benefits. For the people who have not fortified that determination, they're going to quickly give up on the things they're doing. Their Mars in retrograde is going to look like this. Instead of just being consistent, it's the same with communication, especially in Mercury and Capricorn. Be straightforward. Be very clear about your end goal, what you would like to accomplish, especially when it comes to building things, foundation and legacy and things like that. And even though you can't immediately make something happen today, just know that after that Mercury in retrograde finds its other side, what you then experience is something different. You start to see things move. Now, Capricorn is a very, very slow energy, and it's slow for a reason. It takes a lifetime to build a legacy or a career, because it would take a lifetime to try to knock it down, sometimes more than a lifetime. But when you quickly build something, it can quickly be pulled down because it doesn't have a foundation. That is why it's slow. That is why it's consistent. That is why it moves in that kind of way. And what it does also is it gives you confidence. So say you have built something over time. Somebody tries to knock it down. Someone who has not built that confidence might knock their own stuff down, because they're like, oh, this person's right, this person's right. No. You remember being in the trenches. You remember those moments when you had to do X, Y, and Z. So just somebody randomly saying something is not strong enough to knock you over, or just some random occurrence happening is not strong enough to deviate you from your path. This is what Mercury is bringing up. This is what Mars is bringing up. And you want to be mindful of what houses they're transiting. So your house, by the time that you were born. So whatever time that you were born, you can look that up. And you see what sign, let's say Mercury in Capricorn, what house holds Capricorn. That's where Mercury is going to be doing its thing. So if you have Capricorn in the 4th house, Mercury is going to be dancing around your home life. If you have Capricorn in the 7th house, Mercury is going to be dancing around your partnership. And what it Okay, so if you're new to the community, you are now one of my babies. You get one kiss. See, it pays to stay to the end of the video. It pays to stay. If you're my returning babies, you get multiple kisses.